All right, this is going to be self-check 2.1 for AP Calculus AB. All right, so you want to say hello to everyone that's missing, girls?
Hey, losers.
Okay.
Sorry that you're missing out on the funnest school day ever.
Yeah.
So the self-check 2.1 only has 4 questions, so only give yourself 8 minutes to complete it instead of 10 minutes. 2 minutes per question is the average pace that you want to have for the AP test. All right, so number 1. What did you guys get on a fist of, it's not a fist of 5, but A, B, C, or D with fingers? A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Hold up your fingers. I see a 5, and Kaylin got a 5. Okay, so interested in how we got that, so let's go through the problem. All right, so if f of x is equal to this guy, then f prime of x is going to equal what? Tell me what to do.
Square root.
Careful here. So I'm in Powerhouse.
3/2.
3/2. Powerhouse means I'm bringing down the power. X to the power of
Negative or 1/3.
it's not 1/3. 1/2, yeah. How'd you get 1/2, Joy?
Yeah.
So you subtract it from one.
Yeah, you subtract 1 from 3/2. So 3/2 minus 1 is 1/2. Another way to see that is
I did like
3/2 minus 2/2 minus 1 is equal to 1/2.
But it makes sense.
All right, so this is our function. This is f prime. There's no inner that we have to worry about, so we don't have to worry about eating dinner. All right, so then f prime of 4. So now all I'm doing is I'm plugging in 4 into this function. So it's 3/2, 4, and then another way to rewrite this function is 3/2. What do I do with x? 1/2 power means what? Square root. So 3/2 times the square root of 4. This is equal to what? Can someone simplify it just one step without going all the way to the end? 3/2 times 2, and then you got 3, yeah. And that's also because the 2's can cancel out. A faster way of doing it. Yeah, so the correct answer here is 3. So talk to me about the error that you made. See if you can find your own error.
I made it too difficult. I wasn't just finding the derivative.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't.
So you didn't know that you needed to find this function when it said f prime?
Well, I don't know. In my head, I just thought that I was just gonna plug that in to x, the 4 into x, and then just solve from there.
Ah, okay, yeah. So you did,
4 to the 3/2.
yeah, 4 to the 3/2. You guys did do that correct because this is equal to the square root of 4 to the power of 3, which is 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. So you guys did that correct, but it was asking for f prime of 4, not f of 4. So yeah,
Yeah, see, that's what we got with it.
got it. Okay, so yeah, that's why they put it here because it's a common mistake that students make. So f prime, whenever you see f prime, go ahead and just don't even worry about what the number is going in. Just take f prime and then put in the number.
Okay.
All right, let's go to number 2. I should call this number 1.
Yo, good, bro?
This is going to be number 2. All right, f of x is equal to this. Then the derivative of f of x at x equals 0 is, give me fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, or E. I see a 2,
What
I
if
see a
I just
1,
guessed?
and you guessed 1. Okay. So derivative of f of x is looking for f prime again. So let's find f prime.
My fingers smell bad 'cause of the vanilla.
F prime of x is equal to, help me out, girls.
4 times parentheses 2x plus 1.
Plus 1 to the power
There
of
was randomly a purple
3.
there.
What house were we in, Kaylin or Carly? What house were we in order to get this derivative?
Powerhouse?
Powerhouse, yeah. All right. Were you done, Joy? Or
Oh, do I go more?
you can go more if you want.
So you plug in the 0, so then it'll just be 4 times 1 and subtract 3.
Okay. So you are correct in plugging in 0, but there's something that you're missing in the derivative. You forgot dinner.
Oh. So you multiply by 2.
Multiply by 2, yeah. Never forget dinner. Doubter was powerhouse. Dinner was just your normal 2x. All right, so Carly and Kaylin, you're getting this. We were in Powerhouse. We did doubter times dinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we plug in 0. Here I go. 4 times the quantity of 2 times 0 plus 1, all that to the power of 3 times 2. 2 times 0, shout it out,
0.
plus 1
1.
to the power of 3
1.
times 4
4.
times 2.
8. Damn, I'm good.
Yeah, you're a pro.
That's some mental math right there. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, the correct answer was 8, or C.
My problem was that I just like didn't think of it as finding the derivative. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
what
me, I didn't know what to do, so I was just guessing. I think
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah, this will come into perspective when we do self-check 2.2 because it asks the same thing. Find the derivative. Find f prime of this value. So always look for the derivative, especially when it has that word, or if you see f prime of x or f prime of a number, like f prime of 2, that all three of these things mean find the derivative and then plug in 0, plug in 2, plug in whatever number.
Kill your gum.
All right, here we go. Number 3.
Don't mind me.
Numero trace. All right. A, B, C, D, or E. I'm guessing a lot of us had a guess unless we remember our trigonometry. I see a 3, so that means C. Kaylin, Carly,
E.
you guessed E?
2.
You guessed B. Okay, so we have B, C, and E for our 3 different answers. One of you actually got it right. All right, so here we go. And it is kind of difficult. I'll make sure that we understand as much as we can, although trigonometric review is going to be a little bit lengthy, I imagine. So cosine of 3x, so f prime, what am I looking for when it says f
This
prime?
is going to be on the test?
This is going to be on the test, yeah. F prime of something is looking for what? The,
Negative sign.
Derivative.
oh yeah, the derivative. And then Joy had it, which is negative sign. So f prime of x. And Joy, can you fill in the rest of the derivative? You said negative sign of something?
Negative sign of 3x times 3.
Times 3. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the time.
Never forget your dinner. Because you usually end with dinner equaling 1. So even if you want to remember dinner and you don't necessarily need it, you'll still multiply by 1, so that way you never forget it. So negative sign 3x times 3. All right, and then I'm going to let Carly or Kaylin take it away. F prime of, tell me what to write in here.
F prime of pi over 9.
Pi over 9 is equal to,
God bless you. Negative sign.
can I do negative 3 sign?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going to rearrange it. Negative 3 sign.
Negative 3 sign times 3 pi over 9.
Yeah, these are being multiplied together. All right. Cool. So, and this just simplifies, not really too hard, just negative 3 sine of pi over 3. All right, so we really need trigonometry in calculus because you should just be able to snap your fingers and say, oh, I know what that is. So pi over 3. How do I think about pi over 3? Well, what is pi before I even begin? How many degrees is pi?
90? No, 180.
Yeah, 180. So there's my coordinate plane. I could have used straight lines, but that's pretty good. So pi lives here. This is 180 degrees. So 1/3 of this, if you had to cut it into 3 pieces, you could see this being cut kind of like this. I can try to draw that a little bit better. Why is it? Oh, that's why. What the heck is going on? It like randomly decided to grab it. Okay, so let me try drawing that line again. If I cut it into thirds, it kind of looks like that. Did you read this is a third, this is a third, and this is a third? That is the pi number of degrees cut into thirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I come down here, and then there are only 3 values that you need to remember for trigonometry, especially when it comes to AP Calculus, and they are these. You have 1/2, square root of 3 over 2, and square root of 2 over 2. Memorize, and I guess 1, but you don't really use 1. These are the 3 numbers that you need to memorize. When I take sine or cosine of something, it's going to be, I guess the other thing that is technically needed to memorize is 0. 0, 1, and 0. So technically there are 5 things, but these 3 things are the hardest ones to remember. I guess I don't need a comma there. So sine of pi over 3, what is sine of pi over 3? And then you have to ask yourself, well, is that a 60-degree triangle, a 45-degree triangle? What is this?
45 minutes?
Mm-mm. 45 would be
60.
pi over 4. So this angle right here, Carly has it, it's 60 degrees. So which length is bigger? Is it the bottom or the top? Yeah, this one is bigger. It goes up farther. So these two values right here, they represent pi over 3 values. And this represents pi over 2 values. So we are going to choose between 1/2 and square root of 3 over 2. Which is bigger, 1/2 or square root of 3 over 2?
3 over 2.
Yeah, the square root of 3 over 2. So that one is going to go here. Square root of 3 over 2. This is going to be 1/2. And I'm going to pause here. So let's make sure we digest that. These two numbers go to pi over 3. If this could be like 2 pi over 3, it could be 5 pi over 3. It's still going to be these two numbers.
Oh, because, like, yeah, I remember doing this last year.
Okay. And then pi over 2, it's going to be square root of 2 over 2 every time. Both dimensions are going to be square root of 2 over 2. So you can't really get this wrong. It's going to be positive or negative maybe. That'll get us mixed up. But this is the number that you need to remember for pi over 2. So like 3 pi over 2 is going to be maybe positive or negative one of these. All right, so sine. And then the other thing that we need to remember is sine and cosine. Sine and cosine. Sine, does that mean up and down or left and right? It's asking for the y value or the x value.
The Y.
Oh, one of you got it right.
I just had to say the opposite.
Sine is y value.
A.
Y.
Cosine is the x value.
Nailed it.
So when I say sine of pi over 3, I'm saying what is the y value? What is the y value of this point? This point has an x value of 1/2 and a y value of square root of 3 over 2. So sine of pi over 3 is equal to what? What's going on? Sine of pi over 3, girls. Come on, help me out.
The Y value. So negative root 3 over 2.
So this is negative 3. I'm copying down the negative 3 times square root of 3 over 2. Perfect.
Oh, I got it right.
And Kaylin did guess it right. It was E.
Guess it right. I'm just
Wait,
kidding.
in my head, I kind of like remembered the number.
Yeah, I kind of did think that looked familiar.
Yeah, and
No, I
Joy
really
Joy
wanna know
said
the
C,
truth.
and I'm guessing you probably forgot to multiply by the square root or the negative 3. Is that right?
Technically, I guess.
All right, so we need to remember our trigonometry. This is going to be on the test. If you guys want to come in at lunch, before or after school, we can review this if you'd like. But these are the basics. Sine is y value, cosine is x value, and these are the 3 hard numbers to remember. You guys want to try another quick question? What is cosine of pi over 2?
Okay, so cos is the x value. So,
Oh my gosh,
Root 2 over 2.
I am so sorry. I kind of I misled you, and I'm realizing it only now.
oh god.
Oh, so I would have gotten it right unless now you got it wrong.
Exactly, yeah. This should be pi over, and I'm going to leave this as a different color, pi over 4, sorry. Because pi over 2 is 90 degrees.
Oh.
This is pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 is this
I feel like
point right there.
you're really weird, like.
So what is cosine of pi over 2?
Oh my god.
Root 2 over 2.
Or 0.
So Joy has it.
0.
Why is it 0?
That's what I meant.
It's 90.
It's 90 degrees. I go left and right. I have an x value of 0. I don't go left or right.
0.
Let's try another one that will actually work now. Let's try this one. Let's try sine of, let's do 3 pi over 2. Sine of 3 pi over 2.
0? Wait, no.
Where is 3 pi over 2?
That one.
This one?
No. I thought it was down like right there,
Right here?
but I might be wrong.
You are wrong. But it was a good guess. Yeah, it is down here somewhere. You have the general vicinity correct. 3 pi over 2. Well, where's pi over 2 again?
Just at 90 degrees.
Okay, now do 3 of those. So that was 1,
2. Oh, okay.
There's 3 pi over 2. And then sine of that is what?
-1.
Is Joy correct?
Yeah.
It is
Wait, I'm
negative.
kind of confused about how you.
It is -1. The y value. Sine is asking for the y value.
And you go.
The y value went down -1.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Again, if you want to review some trigonometry, come back to school at some time. Message me. Look it up online. I can print you out a chart. Teach you again. Let's go to number 4. This one was a little bit easier. A, B, C, D, or E. Fingers. Go. I see an A. I see a C. And I see a D. Okay.
Did any of us get it right?
Yes, one of you got it right. Wait, this is, one of you got it right. All right, so f of x is equal to x. So what is f prime of x? Because I'm looking for f prime. F prime of x is what? Someone shout it out. 1. So f prime of 5 is what? Carly, Kaylin, you're gossiping over there about girlfriends and boyfriends.
1.
You can't hear us, Mr. Sano.
5. I don't know.
It is 1 because this is the same thing as 1 plus 0x. So this is 1 plus 0 times 5. 0 times 5 is 0, so this is still equal to 1. Yes. The correct answer is C.
On that one, I feel like because the derivative of a constant is just 1, right?
Yeah, but this wasn't a constant. This was just derivative of x. Derivative of x is the coefficient, which is 1.
Wait, I said I guessed D.
Yes.
I had guessed C.
Oh, okay. Well, you both got it right.
What the?
All right. Are there questions on 1, 2, 3, or 4 before we move on to self-check 2.2? I'll give us 10 seconds to think.
Wait, we're moving on to that today?
Yes. Self-check 2.1 and 2.2 are all today. And then tomorrow we're going to do 2.3 and 2.4. Just a heads up for those of you that are watching the video, or I guess everyone that's in class 2. Self-check 2.2 is 5 questions, so give yourself 10 minutes. All right, that concludes the video. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.